Hey, how are you doing, boys and girls? Welcome back to some more Grey Zone Warfare. Today we're going to be going over patch 2 for Grey Zone Warfare, and this has just been released, and there's a hell of a lot of fixes, additions, and tweaks to the game. And so we're going to go over and highlight some of the best things in this patch. If you want to read through the whole entire patch, because I could cover everything, but it would take a very long time to go through. And so I just want to highlight and kind of summarize what has been changed for you so you know why you jump in. Let's get straight into this, and a huge thank you to the devs for doing everything they are doing, listening to the feedback and improving the game. They really care about the game. You can see they absolutely want to make this the best experience as possible, and they are really trying to go through and listen to everything we are providing. So huge thank you to the devs, and let's just get straight in and see what has been changed. So the first thing I want to talk about with the patch notes is the new landing zones, and also the fact that they give you more information from choppers when they're picking people up and where they're taking people to. So when a chopper enters the map, you can click on it straight away and it will tell you where it's going to, who's it going to pick up, and where it's going to afterwards. So it can give you choices on where you need to go. For example, with the new landing zones, 9 new landing zones added, it's going to give you a lot more options around POIs, and so hopefully reduce the amount of time waiting for choppers to come and go, because you can take choppers with other people because you can see that it's maybe going to an LZ which is near the POI you want to go to. This will hopefully also help with the PvP situation with LZ fights, because there's a lot of times where people will die at LZs because there's maybe a faction already there waiting to either go back to base themselves. They see you come down, they kill you, because that's the most safest option most of the time, is to get rid of you so the area is safe, right? Obviously there is also LZ campers too, but hopefully this will help you with preventing those kind of unwanted deaths at the LZs. The other things that added is more kind of quality of life things. So they added a lot of optimization. So they got optimizations to reduce rubber banding. So hopefully you'll now be able to play on servers which are more closer to you, like EU. EU is a good example for me. I could not really play on EU servers because the rubber banding was really horrible. So I ended up having to play on US servers a lot of times. So maybe now with the optimizations, we might be able to play on EU servers and have better ping. This is a great one. They added some more settings. Separate sensitivity settings for aim down sight, so you can now change your aim down sight sensitivity over your hip fire sensitivity. This is great. I would actually like to add to this if the devs are watching, and add like a sensitivity slider for each zoom, you know, from 1 times all the way up to, I think it's like 25 times, isn't it? You maybe even group them a little bit, like the really zoomed in scopes have a sensitivity slider for them, and then like your mid kind of zooms, and then obviously your 1 times. That would be really awesome. Something which other games have added, like Battlefield and Call of Duty, things like that. Just helps with your sensitivity. I like to have a really low sensitivity when it comes to really higher zoom scopes, for example, but I like to have my 1 time sensitivity the same as my hip fire, so it's like feels 1:1. So it just gives you more options. So if you guys are watching, I would love to see that. They've added various optimizations to the VRAM, so graphic settings I've also noticed they've adjusted. We'll talk about that in a minute, but they've added VRAM optimizations. Now for me, currently, that's around 10 to 11 gigs of VRAM, so hopefully when I start the game up and test, hopefully the VRAM has gone down. That will actually help a lot of people who have lower end graphic cards. Maybe the VRAM is just going over their maximum amount, and that's maybe causing some crashes. So hopefully this will help with some of those kind of GPU VRAM related crashes, which I do see from comments in my stream. The things I've added is just kind of some quality of life things. You can now have a preferred game mode, which is now selected when launching the game, so you don't have to keep going, say for example, to joint operations to play it. If you just keep playing joint operations, that will be your preferred game mode, and that will be the one which is selected at launch. Just some little quality of life things. Other things, notifications for players to claim their addition rewards. If you've upgraded your game to like a DLC, for example, the support edition, you get more rewards. It'll give you a notification now to claim those rewards so you don't get confused, because I do see that sometimes people get confused how they claim their rewards. So this is really awesome. They've also added the missing radiation in the ground zone area. Now this is mostly for upcoming updates, extra missions, extra content, things like that. They're already starting to prepare for that from the looks of things, and they're adding the radiation into Ground Zero, despite the fact I don't think there is anything in Ground Zero at the minute, but at least they're kind of starting to work on that area. So this is really, really good. One thing I've noticed is they have adjusted things like the lighting and shadows, and also the blur effect when suppressed for scopes is all being kind of changed a little bit. Again, I need to test this when I start playing myself, but it looks like they're kind of hopefully adjusted this in a positive way, helps with FPS, maybe better visibility, because sometimes the blur effect was a bit too much where it just was really, really hard to see what was going on with certain settings. So hopefully this is what they're talking about in that terms, but we will be testing this on stream. But there's a lot of things in terms of helping with the lighting or the sun flickering in certain areas which shouldn't be, helping with shadows looking pixelated in water. This is under the adjusted and fixed. There's certain things about this, so I won't talk about this again, but this is something they've been looking at, that they've been working on, is the lighting. So hopefully that is better. It says they've adjusted the lighting on medium graphics quality settings, so hopefully this means that it's either better or the FPS has been improved. So we'll again test all this out. Under the change, there's a nice one here. Players now cannot loot their friendly NPCs in the base camp to prevent exploiting. There's another one also under fix where they also state that they've fixed the item duplication exploit. If that is still prevalent, even after this patch, if someone finds a way to duplicate items, please let me know in the Discord, at me or DM me, so I can pass that information on to the devs. They've also now renamed the MK18 to the DDM4. So just if you are looking for your MK18, it's now called the DDM4 instead of the MK18. Another really, really good one is the players will be matched in the same server after disconnects. And there's another one they talk about in fixed. Basically, you can now loot your body if you get disconnected from the game. If you did die, for example, you can also, if you do get disconnected or crashed, if you join the server again, you'll join the same server you was on before. And so say, for example, you was on a plane or helicopter when you crashed, you'll be, when you join in, you'll be on that helicopter, most probably still going towards the LZ, for example. All right, so this is a really, really good one. Another awesome one is now they've added an AFK timer to kick players. That's just going to just make the server feel more active. There's going to be less people at base doing nothing, more people doing things around the area. Should make the game feel a little bit more active and better overall. So AFK timer is a really, really nice one. One of the other things I notice is a lot of these are going to be things like places where you can get stuck. Kind of places in POIs which just look out of place, or for example things floating. They've overall just made POIs look better. They've fixed some of the places where you can get stuck in certain areas. They've talked about that. They've added better animations to certain things, and also there's a lot of faces where they help with the AI. So for example, I see one here, a spot in Tiger Bay where AI could get stuck. There's also the fixed where AI gets stuck through double doors in certain places. So there's something to take away. The AI should be better at pathing now and not getting stuck as much in certain areas. And this kind of summarizes that. Again, I touched on this before, but you can now also loot your body and it shouldn't be sinking through the ground. Again, a really handy one. Even if you disconnect, you should be able to find your body and you should be able to loot it. Now, the other one I want to talk about is the fact you now glass on some doors and windows, which cause them to be bulletproof. Please take note of this one, because there's sometimes guides, including myself, where I would say you don't have to worry about this glass because it's bulletproof and you can just kind of like chill there and the AI can't shoot you. They may be able to shoot you now and you may die from it. But also on a plus side, you can now shoot them through windows. So there could be like nice little kind of like fast peak spots and places where you can kind of take them out more safer by shooting them through the windows. So just take note of it. Now you should be able to shoot AI and players through glass. It's not bulletproof anymore. Again, I was talking about this before, but improved like shadows and lighting. You got improved character shadows while moving in water. You got improved lighting in the mall. A lot of this will have these type of things talking about it, where there's basically improving the overall look of the game and some of the kind of graphical glitches and errors which are popping up. Again, I didn't want to make this video too long, so I have skipped through quite a bit of this, and I'm just trying to show like some of the best things. But the other thing they've talked about is like they've done various crashes. The fixed tracer range effects not being visible, so now tracer range should be shown when you are using those type of rounds in the game, which is going to be really awesome. Another one is some glass items being too bright in dark environments. Again, this is to do with the lighting, but this is something which looks really annoying sometimes in certain places. You should be able to see through glass a lot easier now, and it shouldn't look really weird. So this is a nice one which they've added. In terms of polish, they said the various world locations, so we may notice differences in the POIs. Things may look a little bit better. Things may have been changed, removed, or added. That's pretty nice. You can see here things have been removed. They've kind of done a few things in terms of, again, just improving the overall POIs. Things are tweaked. They've tweaked the AK animations to be more accurate to real life. They've tweaked the hand movement while running, the character rotation and vaulting, and various weapon and character animations. So basically they just made the animations and how things may look better. Again, really awesome. This is something I want to test out because we're using AKs a lot at the minute. We're only allowed to use AKs in our current playthrough we're doing on stream. If you want to see that, we're not using M4s and the meta stuff. So we're only using AK. So if you want to see a different type of gun being used on videos and streams over than just the M4 and the MK, or the DDM4 now it's called, come and watch the stream. We'll be using AKs and trying to get through the whole entire game with the AKs. And then it goes, what's next? We're dedicated to enhancing the experience of Grey Zone Warfare and will continue to improve performance leading up to our first major update. Our roadmap will be revealed soon and we'll be sharing development updates for the Day and Night cycle and more over time. Stay tuned and thank you for being with us through this early access journey. Every move matters, Madfinger Games. Really awesome patch. I think this is a great one. A lot of really quality of life things been added. New things have been added, changes, and so we're going to test this out in game and on stream. So if you want to join me, I'll be live streaming this most of the time on YouTube, so just catch me on YouTube. If you want to find out about my schedules and things like that, join the Discord. I will have that in the description, and I will also have the patch notes if you want to read through everything here. I will leave that in the pinned comment down below. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon for some more Grey Zone Warfare.